Bonjour and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about two very exciting new makeup products that have been released a little bit earlier this year. The Light Reflecting foundation from Nars and the new HD Skin from Makeup Forever. I actually haven't tried them yet, so we are going to compare them and see which one's best. But first I have to talk to you about something. As you may have noticed through my different videos, I am slowly switching all my jewelry from silver to gold. I have been on a quest to find the perfect, cute, affordable and high quality gold jewelry, and the great timing, a few weeks ago the brand Ana Luisa, which is a jewelry brand, reached out to me to ask me if I want to try some of their products. So after doing a bit of research on their website, I obviously said yes, because I love the brand for so many different reasons. So I was having a really hard time finding cool gold jewelry, just because I find that most of the time gold is very like madame, very fancy, very like old school. So I went on the Ana Luisa website and I saw that their designs are just so beautiful. They are very modern, very young. So I wanted to start with my earrings. So I picked up 3 pairs of earrings like that, and they just stack so well together. So from the moment I received them, I put them on and I received so many compliments. That's another thing with me and jewelry. I'm the lazy kind. So I like to put my jewelry on and leave it until I want to switch for another style. So I've been wearing those for like 3 weeks now. I only take them off when I'm washing my hair. And honestly, they look just as good as new, which makes me so happy. They are very fine and well made, and even in the tiny details, you can tell that they are high quality. Seriously, look at these ones. I feel like they are so my style. That's exactly what I was looking for. It's also the great values behind the company that really made me want to try them. As you can see on their website, everything is sustainable. They only use recycled materials. We know by now how the jewelry industry can be very damaging for the environment. They are actually water and carbon neutral, which is pretty amazing for a bigger company. Honestly, I only have good things to say about Ana Luisa, so if you were thinking of treating yourself with a nice piece of jewelry or making a gift to a friend or family member, I would 100% recommend to check them out. And they actually have a sale until the end of the month where it's 20% off on their entire website. So it's a steal at this point. So thank you so much, Ana Luisa, for sending me these beautiful pieces. I will put the link in the description box below so you can have access to the sale. And I'm definitely gonna have to add a few more holes on this ear now. Let's now talk about the foundations. So they were probably some of the most anticipated foundation release of 2022. But when I was reading their description, they actually sound very similar. So that's why I wanted to try them, compare them, and see what their actual difference is, and maybe help you to pick one or the other. Let's start with the Nars and see what Sephora has to say about it. Liquid formula, natural finish, medium coverage. That's apparently good for uneven texture, redness and dark spots. An advanced makeup skincare hybrid foundation with a natural finish that quickly blurs and smooths while visibly improving skin's clarity over time. Alright! The formula is completely clean, it's a vegan product. Nars is not cruelty free though, and it has some natural ingredients that help with reducing the redness, some ingredients that help to create a barrier on the skin and help to retain the moisture, and also to help with the negative effects of blue light and pollution. There's no parabens, no silicones, and the packaging is entirely recyclable. Alright, that sounds really good to me. They are saying that it's good for all skin types, which it can sound a little bit weird to me, but let's try it and see how it looks. For the shade, I picked Salzburg, which is my usual shade with Nars, and just from seeing it in the bottle, it looks very dark and very yellow. I've heard that a lot of people are having issues finding their shade because they are actually way darker than with their other foundations. So when you're trying to find your shade for this foundation, I would really recommend to get a proper fresh color match done, because the shades are not necessarily matching with the other foundations from the brand. The foundation comes in 36 different shades, which is pretty good. I would say though that the Nars shades are sometimes a little bit off. And by that, I mean that when they're saying that it's a foundation with warm undertones, It's really warm, very yellow, but that's only a personal opinion. Some of their shades are absolutely beautiful though. I'm just gonna move my hair out of the way. I did a close-up so you can see a little bit better how it looks like on the skin. So I find the finish pretty natural to glowy. I would say that the coverage is pretty good because I have a few dark spots here and they are perfectly covered. My under eye is looking pretty good too, and I have a little pimple here. So it did a pretty good job in terms of coverage. The texture is very light though, it's very skin-like. I can barely see it on my skin. Although I'm gonna say the shade was a little bit too dark for me from the beginning, but I feel like it's oxidizing a little bit. I can see that it's turning very yellow, which I already have pretty strong yellowy warm undertones, but now it's legit yellow. And I have to say it was very easy to apply, to blend it. The texture is really great. So that's it for the Light Reflecting foundation from Nars. It's being sold for 65 Canadian dollars at Sephora, and now we can try the HD Skin and see what it's like. For the HD Skin, it's actually a reformulation of the HD foundation from Makeup Forever that has been very popular over the past few years. So it's a new formulation. I don't really know why they reformulated it because the original HD foundation was a good one. So I don't know why they haven't created a whole new foundation line instead of replacing it. Maybe they just wanted to keep the HD name because people already know about it, so it would become popular right away. But that's just assumption. I actually don't know what happened. So let's see what they're saying on the Sephora website. Liquid formula, natural finish as well, waterproof and long wearing. I guess that's probably the key words about this foundation. Medium coverage, and it's apparently best for oily, combo or normal skin. By the way, I forgot to mention, but my skin is normal type, a little bit combo on the T-zone, but pretty normal overall. An undetectable liquid foundation that blurs and covers imperfections for up to 24 hours, powered by a micro skin system that syncs with the skin for true to skin finish. So as I was mentioning to you, it sounds fairly similar to the new Nars foundation, except that this one is supposed to be really long wearing and waterproof. So regarding the ingredients, they are not mentioning anything about being a clean formula. It's vegan though, and Makeup Forever is not cruelty free either. So apparently there is ingredients that would help to follow the skin movement and don't look kind of dull and cakey. There is as well some ingredients that create a barrier to keep the moisture in the skin for apparently 24 hours. There's also ingredients that help with the radiance of the skin. For the shade, I picked number 1Y08. I picked my shade based on the old colors from the previous HD foundation, so I was a Y225, and I actually find it very smart because they are putting the new shade number as well as the old ones, so it's easier to find it. So that's quite smart. The bottle is 30 milliliters, just like the Nars ones. It's pretty average for foundation, and it's being sold for 55 Canadian dollars at Sephora, so it's $10 less than Nars. And I also have to mention that I find the packaging very cute. It's pretty simple yet very original. Let's shake it well and try it. So I'm gonna take a clean brush and let's see. First of all, I think that the shade is pretty spot on. The texture feels a little bit lighter and more gel than the Nars. The finish is natural to matte, definitely more matte than the Nars one, which was kind of expected because there's a lot of skincare and moisturizing ingredients in this one. And the texture looks a little bit thicker and a little bit more dry, probably because of the matte finish, but it's not as blurring as the Nars. Overall, I think it's a very pretty foundation. So now I'm just gonna do a quick natural makeup, like a makeup that I would do every day, so I don't interfere too much with the foundation's formula. And I will come back in a few hours to see how the formulas are evolving, how it looks like, and what's their longevity. See you in a second. Alright, a few hours have passed, it is now the end of my day, and it's also time for the final review. When I did my makeup today, I only applied the tiniest amount of setting powder only on my forehead and under my eyes, and I didn't reapply any through the day, so what you see now is the actual foundation and how it evolved after about like 6-7 hours. So let's take a closer look and start by reviewing the Nars. So as you can see, it is now pretty shiny, and as I was telling you, I have a normal skin type. It honestly still looks pretty good, although I didn't have an intense day, I only stayed at home, but it did a pretty good job. It didn't crease too much. It only moved a tiny bit here, I guess, but it's fairly normal for foundations, I would say. My pores started to appear a little bit in this area, which is not a big deal. I feel like it's pretty common as well, and that's something that can be easily fixed by applying a primer. I would definitely have to reapply setting powder through the day if I want to keep it looking good. But I think that overall it's a really beautiful foundation. It's super natural looking and it's right up in my alley. If you have an oily skin, I would not recommend using this light reflecting foundation. The texture is probably a little bit too rich for oily skins, but it's going to be really good for dry skin types. Your skin is going to love that. Another thing to take in consideration is that this foundation would be ideal for cold and dry climates. If you live in a warm tropical zone, first of all, lucky you. Second, it's probably going to be too hydrating for you. Let's now take a look at the HD Skin side. So they were claiming that this foundation is waterproof, sweat-proof, extra long-lasting. I have my doubts on that. Even if we started with a sort of matte finish, it still got quite shiny, which I don't mind. But if you have an oilier skin, that might be an issue again. Both sides are equally shiny, when the Nars one is a super hydrating skincare hybrid foundation. So technically the Makeup Forever should be a little bit less glowy, but it's not really the case. Which make me think that if your skin is oily, it might not be the best option for you either. Overall, I think it's a really great foundation. I really like the coverage and I really like the blurring effect that it gives to my skin. In the end, I would say that these two foundations are actually pretty similar. You definitely don't need to get both. I would recommend them for someone that's looking for a light to medium coverage, a natural finish, and a sort of like radiant effect. The HD Skin would definitely be more for the people who are already used to use foundation, who like to work the texture, like to have a little bit more coverage. Whereas the light reflecting foundation would probably be for the people who were using BB creams, CC creams, and want to step up their game a little bit more. And I would also recommend it for the people who are a little bit concerned about the ingredients and want a cleaner formula. So if you have a sensitive skin, acne prone skin, or any sort of skin condition or skin things that are bugging you, for sure I would go with the Nars over the Makeup Forever. For myself, I will wear both. I will probably start by using the Makeup Forever just because the shade is actually good for me now, and hopefully by the summer I'll be tan enough so I can use the Nars one. Or maybe I'll just have to apply tons of self-tanner. And I will for sure consider adding a few shades of the HD Skin to my Pro Makeup Kit, because I have already a bunch of natural glowy looking foundations such as the Nars, but I don't have that many with a little bit more coverage like the Makeup Forever one. So I'll keep trying it on myself for now, and if I still like it in a little while, I will probably purchase a few shades and add them to my kit. If you want to see all the other foundations that I carry in my Pro Makeup Kit, I will put a video just right here for you so you can go check it out. I'm showing you how I organize them, depot them to make them all fit into my Pro Kit. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me all the time. Don't forget to go check out Ana Luisa before the end of March to take advantage of their sale before it ends. Take good care of yourself and I will see you soon. Bisous!